Hello, viewers of our Stop the Destruction of the World program. 10 years have gone by, in fact 15, since we founded the Stop the Destruction of the World Association in Paris. And recently in Paris, 600 scientists met to talk and transmit some elements to the world's population about the situation on the planet. Not because we aren't already suffering the consequences. Each one of us is already suffering when there are floods, earthquakes, forest fires, droughts, increases in temperature, increases in epidemics, that is, difficulties are increasing. And destruction is not only linked to ecology. The economy is becoming more difficult, more and more people live in misery, there is more violence and more injustice. Very well. So what do the reports, some from the UN, have to say about the meeting in Paris? That the global warming is irreversible, that it's already seriously affecting life on the planet, and that there is no way out. Even if we stop emitting gases right now, the effects will continue. Changes will be intense, long and violent, scientists say. And the forecast for the near future is for more storms, hurricanes, floods and droughts. But what seems to be most important about this entire situation is that they affirm that these changes, this destruction, is caused by the human being. Human action is causing the unquestionable destruction of the planet. So, where does this destruction come from? Human beings have within them all the values, thoughts, philosophy, ideas that they need to put into practice and lead them towards disaster. Therefore, it's from our interior, from our minds, that all this madness and destruction arise. Nevertheless, this issue isn't studied. This aspect of humanity that is called psychopathology. Well, only one or another person is interested in knowing themselves better, so as not to destroy their lives, studies this. And this should be studied in kindergarten, it should be taught in universities, the subject of studying human madness, the madness that he makes in society, that is psychosocial pathology, is the most modern of sciences and the most important of them all, because it's this science that all the others stem from. All knowledge, all work, all the destruction arises from human beings' minds and does all that it is constructed. So we must understand better how the human being's head works, because the human being wants to kill himself and is doing precisely this. The human being is giving more value to money than to his own life. He's slave to capital. For example, even when he knows that taking drugs will kill him, he continues to take them. So we are living in a situation that is more and more inhospitable, and this is caused by the problems that are inside us. We are here talking about this science that was recently created and whose greatest voice is Norberto Keppe, the psychoanalyst, social scientist, philosopher, author of more than 20 books published about the subject, and who has given us the means to apply these concepts in society. So why does the human being want to kill himself? What is wrong with our heads? How can we correct this?
I would like to show you a device which deals with the issue of resonance. Take a look. Here we have resonance on the same level, just as we have here on the one below. And here, this other element doesn't have anything to resonate with. So what do I want to show with this? As I move this one, the other at the same level begins to swing also. It enters into resonance with the other. So our program has this goal to make a universal contact so that all of you transmit these issues to humanity, so as to avoid the worst, that is, to avoid the total destruction of our planet. So take a look at the issue of resonance again. These two elements of the same dimension are influencing one another. while the others don't move. Look. So every human being who has an intention, who transmits a message, rebounds on the other, especially good messages. And our goal is to make human beings transmit a message of optimism, messages of growth, development, so that humanity doesn't entirely perish. So take a look at this sentence that I've put up.
There isn't a path to goodness, because goodness is the path.
You will notice that the issue of goodness is fundamental for civilization to continue existing, because the human being is now going to enter the third millennium. In fact, he has already entered this third millennium, which is characterized by the issue of progress, of reaching what we call the kingdom of heaven on earth.
And this is going to be achieved if the human being disinverts himself. Right, Dr. Keppe?
But there are three social, pathological facts involved here.
A developed country has never desired to develop another country.
Take a look at the level of inversion that a country can fall into. Africa was plundered along with Egypt as well. There are more Egyptian mummies in London than in Egypt. And there are more Greek statues in France than in Greece. So here you can see the issue of envy. It not only affects us at an individual level, but also affects civilization itself and entire countries. Let's look again at the diagram.
What is essential isn't exported. Here in Brazil, there are assemblers but no car factories.
You will notice that the developed countries don't export culture, technology, etc. to countries that are less developed, even if they need it. But they try to exploit more in the economic sense. They squeeze the economy of other countries to their own benefit. And in third place, what did I write?
Speculation was developed to plunder the developing countries, such as Brazil, Argentina, and Chile.
So you will notice that it's very important, not only for people to understand the issue of envy, of megalomania, arrogance, but also that the more developed countries have to understand that without the developing countries, which they call the third world, they just wouldn't survive. For example, if Brazil didn't export raw material, such as iron, steel, iron ore, and so on, even food, what would happen?